Welcome back to the Dark Moon podcasts, where today we're exploring the hidden currents of history, spirituality, and personal growth, and diving into the world of Rudolf Steiner, a thinker, a philosopher, and an all-round visionary who left a big mark on education, agriculture, and even spirituality. Now, this guy was dense, and I mean thick with total and utter thinking, philosophies, ideas, education. So it was intense and thick with all the energies and all of the brain intellectual powers of his time. And I can't match that. And I'm in awe of it. I totally respect it. I tried to read many of his works, his autobiography showing how he grew up as a little boy in Austria. I got most of that. But then when he got into his actual work, his actual thinking process and where he went with it, I was well and truly out of my depth. So I get it's a sign of the times, but I had to look deeper and I had to try to skip through all of the thick volumes of thought process and just get to the nitty-gritty. And I had to skim a lot off the top here. So if you are an intellectual person that can understand all this, you probably understand it better than I can. But he was born in 1861, so it was a sign of the times. They could think deeply, and where I feel way out of my depth when I'm reading his stuff. He wasn't just ahead of his time. He was operating on an entirely different frequency. And his ideas still ripple through the world in 2025, shaping the way we teach, grow food, and think about our place in the universe, especially that last one. I think he's got so much to offer, if only I could understand him better. So why does he matter now? That's what I want to look at. I'm going to break it down. So first up is education. If you've ever heard of Waldorf schools, you're already familiar with Steiner's most lasting contributions. He believed that education should develop the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. How beautiful is that? Waldorf schools emphasize creativity, critical thinking, and hands-on learning. So in a world obsessed with screens and standardized testings and facts and figures, that approach almost feels revolutionary. Instead of drilling kids with facts, Waldorf encourages them to paint and knit and go out and explore nature. It's about curiosity, not just memorization, not just passing exams. And get this, the studies from places like Waldorf Research Institute show that Waldorf students often excel in problem solving and adaptability. So in a world where jobs keep evolving, that's a crucial skill set. He was definitely onto something. So now we're going to look at farming, biodynamic farming, nature's rhythms in agriculture. So long before organic became a buzzword, Steiner pioneered biodynamic agriculture in the 1920s. This approach treats a farm as a living organism, working with nature rather than against it. It involves planting by lunar cycles, using natural composts, and focusing on the energy of the land. How wonderful is that? It sounds magical, maybe, but is it also practical? Today, with a lot of the bioengineering, soil depletion, and geoengineering on everybody's mind, biodynamic farming should make a comeback, and is, slowly, maybe. Big brands like Whole Foods stock the biodynamic wines, and farmers swear by its sustainability. Whether or not you buy into the spiritual side of the land, because I sure do, I think the results speak for themselves. When you get food that is spiritually nourishing, when the person who loves cooking has poured all that love and enjoyment of being creative, pours it all into the cooking, and then you eat that, it makes a huge difference than a bunch of teenagers cooking over sort of beef burgers who've, there to get minimum wage, and the foods have no spiritual nourishment whatsoever. I think spiritual nourishment is very, very necessary in this society. Now, this is a word that I'm probably going to get wrong. anthroposophy. 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 Okay. I wrote this down several times. I tried to say it and I thought, nah, we're going to screw it up one way or the other. But it means science meets spirituality. So he wasn't just about schools and farms. His biggest philosophical contribution was anthroposophy. Anthroposophy, a system blending science, spirituality, and human consciousness. And I have to say that I have been chasing this all my life. And I have found it when I read Steiner. The problem is I can't understand it that thoroughly. So, yes, I look for alternatives because he is just too complicated for me. So this encourages us to look beyond the material world, which is exactly what I want to do. It is the highlight of my thing when I find something to see the deeper patterns in life. And in our stressed out, tech-heavy world, this idea is so relevant. And more people are seeking mindfulness, meaning, inner growth, and Steiner's vision of human development, one that embraces both intellect and intuition, fits straight into this modern spiritual awakening and straight into my own way of thinking. I need something where science meets spirituality, and I never even knew that it had a name, one that I can't pronounce, but okay. Okay, so I'm trying to keep these short and sweet, and yes, I'm not dipping too far into this water because I get where he was going, but I don't know how he got there, and it gets deep very quickly. But he's not just a dusty historical figure. His ideas are alive and evolving, shaping how we teach, how we grow food, and how we think about ourselves. So whether you're drawn to the education or the biodynamics, or just curious about spiritual development, he's there. His legacy is still unfolding. What do you think? Have you encountered Steiner's work in your own life? If you could leave a comment, send me a message, share this episode, subscribe, that would be awesome. Anyway, I will be back with more interesting facts and figures and speculations. Enjoy yourself, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye now.